Welcome to issue 272 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at the most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Darren, aka Astrodar, and with me is Daniel.
Darren, welcome to the lair. What a delight to have you.
Yeah, someone left the door unlocked. I just kind of wandered in.
Hey, that's how it happens a lot of the time. And you must have been practicing that intro because it was delightfully read.
Thanks. It kind of gets ingrained in your memory after you listen enough. And also with me is Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on finally. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I bet you could read that with your eyes closed by the sounds of it. It was wonderfully done. Yeah.
The hardest part was the issue number.
Yes. Yeah. 272. That's a lot of issues. And finally, we have Astrodar on. Folks know Darren from the community. You have a blog out there and you're doing some other things. Why don't you tell us all about that so folks know exactly who you are, where they can find your stuff. People want to know who is Astrodar.
Yeah. Well, I am Astrodar, as mentioned, and I run a blog called Alter Ego Chronicle, and it's mostly where I post random thoughts and musings that I have. I am pretty sporadic with how I post there. I also help mod the Discord, and then right now, my focus is on getting people playing games together with their physical cards online. So I'm doing a bit of a push to get webcam games going on the Discord server. So just basically hosting people and letting them point a phone or camera at their cards and getting people playing together.
That's cool. Yeah, like using your actual cards, play over the interwebs. That's cool.
Wait, I bought these things for a reason?
Exactly. Oh, you get to actually touch them and use them. And
I thought that was just for once a year at somewhere in Minnesota that I didn't go to this year.
Right? Yeah, that's what got me all jazzed up about it. Actually, was at Con of Heroes. I just had so much fun with all the multiplayer games that I was like, I need this year round. A lot more of this. So we're trying it out.
Sounds great.
There is something to be said for playing with your actual cards, even if you're in front of a camera. Then using the online resources and stuff are great. Yeah, shuffling and like touching the cards. Yeah, cool.
Now in this format, am I still gonna get a whole bunch for not sleeving my cards?
Only
that's what I want to know. I'm in or out, depending on your answer to that, Darren.
Well, I don't have to shuffle your unsleeved card into my deck, so it works for me.
Okay, but I will shuffle them loudly on the camera.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, they're your cards, Daniel. Do what you want with them.
That doesn't seem to matter. Seriously, all the people that it rubs the wrong way, it's like the whole they're mine. Nothing. Doesn't do anything. So the best thing is I shuffle real hard now my Doctor Strange cards. Just into each other. It's just fun.
Really hit some people in the heart there.
Yeah.
Just listen to that money going away.
Oh yeah. Then I'm still gonna sell them on eBay for $4,000.
Right.
Jokes on the nerds. Anyway, sorry.
Since this is really your first time on the show, now you were on our Con of Heroes recap this year. You and I were roommates. We discussed that. Like I say roommates, but we shared the cost of a room. We didn't really spend much time in the room.
Barely crossed paths at all.
Yes.
Wow, that's the best kind of roommate.
Yeah, it's like, there's a wet towel. He was here, like, hanging up nicely in the bathroom. I will add, but yeah,
you didn't leave it on your pillow.
Yeah, no,
right. No, Con of Heroes was great for that.
Yeah. Usually when we have a guest on for the first time, we ask a couple questions. So let's ask a couple questions here. You didn't know we were going to do this, but we're going to do it anyways. When did you start playing the game? Like, how long have you been playing?
I remember the exact day. Not the exact date. Very close. I believe it was March 15th of 2021. It was the day that Scarlet Witch released because it happened to be the same day that WandaVision ended, like the very last episode of WandaVision.
Mm.
So I like strolled into the game shop and was like, just had watched WandaVision. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's check out Champions. So I picked up the core set, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch, and it just took off from there.
Nice. Okay. That's a good intro to the game. Here's two really powerful characters. Let's go.
Yeah, little did I know.
Right.
So then, I mean, of course, Darren, that we're all villainy here. Tell me a little bit about the villains you like to play with here.
So I have a bit of a style I like, and apparently it is minion swarms. So 2 of my top 3 scenarios are Mutagen Formula and Brotherhood of Badoon.
Okay.
And so I just really love the board just getting flooded with minions. And actually, one of my favorite things to do to mix up Brotherhood of Badoon is taking all of the goblins out of Mutagen Formula as kind of like a custom little mod set and putting them in the place of Band of Badoon. And kind of, it's weird flavor wise, but you get that flood of minions even faster.
Love it.
Nice. Do you treat the goblins as Badoon? Are you like, okay, they all have Badoon treats, or no?
Pretty much. There's not a whole lot that engages on that front, but I mean, they're close enough in appearance to a Badoon, right?
Yeah, they're weird green things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we love to hear about the heroes getting just totally destroyed. Do you have a hero that you love to hear gets defeated or beat up, either in the game or in the comics? Like, who's your favorite punching bag for heroes?
Oh man, that one is tough because I think I just like seeing kind of those top tier heroes get knocked down a peg or two. And so my favorite when I'm playing is probably taking some of those really high powered characters and then losing with them in really tough challenges. So I think I have to put Spider Ham maybe is like my top one, where I just like feel so powerful and then suddenly it undercuts the whole thing and I'm in trouble.
Nice. Okay.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Okay. Well, that's a good background. Are you a comic reader? Movies, MCU, cartoons? What's your backstory with Marvel in general?
I'm big into the MCU. That was really my introduction to Marvel. But once I started playing the game, I was trying to figure out some of these characters that I only knew kind of like through the public domain type eye. And so I started reading comics from there, got a Marvel Unlimited subscription. And it sold me pretty hard. I kicked it off by reading the Annihilation run of Guardians of the Galaxy or featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy. And that just sold me all around on comics.
So are you saying, Darren, that you needed more than just the lore that we expertly provided on this podcast? That's fascinating. I'm surprised by that.
Daniel, everybody needs more than what we provide, for sure.
What? How can that be? Especially the ones when I'm taking charge.
I learned that I can't trust you guys. Which one was Crazy Gang recently?
Yeah.
I was just like kind of behind on things, having just one of those days where I'm just tossing this on, listening, and I was just so engrossed in the lore of the Crazy Gang before getting caught at the end and like, oh my gosh, that was an April Fool's joke this whole time.
The whole episode. Yeah. There's really not a lot to them, so we had to make up. We had to embellish.
I loved it. It was great.
I mean, what do you want? A good story or facts?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, once again, Darren, welcome to the lair. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me on.
Glad, thanks for taking care of Steve at the con.
Oh, he was no trouble at all. The big thing that I have been wondering is what's on your mind tonight, Daniel?
Oh, wow. Thanks. Yeah. So it's gratitude once again. Now, Steve, do you remember last week Bill was on and he talked about, a whole bunch of stuff about arcade and all that. But do you remember the truck with like the Hero vacuum cleaner on it?
I do.
Yeah. So you even mentioned then, like, hey, I'm smelling Patreon here. I'm smelling like a job for our minions. So I searched high and low for one of those trucks, Steve, and I finally found one on eBay.
Oh,
and
okay.
the thing was I had to go pick it up. So it was out in Virginia, which isn't too far from me. It's actually kind of close to where Darcy lives. And so I'm like, great, this will be our next minion job. We got someone to drive the Hero vacuum bus. I need a better name than that, but that's what I'm calling it for now. It's the HVB.
If it has an attachment that sucks up heroes, we can still just call it a plain old garbage truck.
So. I like that. Yeah. Okay. We'll go with the garbage truck. So I'm like, great, that's a minion job. I'll go pick it up and I'll bring it back to the lair. And then we'll hire a driver essentially. But Steve, I had so much fun driving the thing. And I will confess, I did use it a couple times. Not on heroes. I didn't see any heroes on my way back home, but I did see random small animals and feral dogs and things like that. And I was sort of indiscriminately was hoovering some stuff up with the truck.
Well, I mean, you're in DC. I'm sure there's plenty of garbage to suck up there.
Well, turns out, yeah.
Yeah.
I did take one particular road home. You're right. So what I found though when I parked the thing in our evil garage was the process of sucking up the stuff. It's not really a clean sweep here, Steve. Like it doesn't just sort of delicately go through that little hose attachment and into the incinerator or whatever is in the thing. It was really gross in the hose. In fact, it's still all there. So it's been like 5 days. So we're gonna need someone to kind of be the garbage truck hose cleaner.
Ugh. Okay.
I'm still gonna drive it. I can't imagine me giving up that job because that was just a hoot. So maybe I'll take some of our minions with me, but I'm gonna be driving the garbage truck. But the hose attachment, it comes off. I hope, because if not, it's gonna start smelling pretty bad in the garage. I just need someone to take that hose out back and just hose down the hose.
Okay, so who's on the hook for that then?
Well, I am delighted to offer, nay, insist that Doxologos does this job for us. He's won this reward of hose cleaner extraordinaire.
Well, thank you, Doxologos, for being a patron. See, crime does pay. You get to
right.
You're donating to us, and you get to clean out Daniel's disgusting garbage hose.
You are the only one in the universe, Doxologos, that gets to do this.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that when you're feeling, I don't know, elbow deep in hero sauce. You're the only one who's ever done this. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it's a reward or a punishment, but yeah.
I can tell you when I first picked up the truck, I imagine no one has done it before. So the first cleaning, Docs, is going to be, I think Steve's got an extra pair of those rubber gloves somewhere in the lair.
Yeah, someplace. We'll see if we can find some. Ashdar, it looks like you dodged a bullet here. Luckily, we had someone else to do it. We're going to have to ask you to do it. So.
Oh, yeah. Between the two of being on a podcast or the hose, actually, in hindsight, I think I'll take the hose.
Oh.
Well, you'll have to bring that up with Doxy. He's already suited up.
Yeah, it's too late. It's claimed. I guess I'll just finish the episode.
Finish the show out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, Steve, what is he even here for?
Yeah. Darren has come on because he's going to talk to us all about Iceman's Nemesis, Pyro.
That's a name I've heard before.
Yeah, it is a name you've heard before because we have talked about Pyro several times on the show. We talked about Pyro way back when we did the Brotherhood modular set in issue 182. And then again in issue 202.4 and 0.5 when we did the mansion attack scenario. But I am sure that there must be tons and tons of lore that links the fire of Pyro to the ice of Iceman. So take it away, Astrodar.
Okay, well, fire and ice, it's a tale as old as time, right? So I think it's best encapsulated by this poem. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. So it's good old Robert Frost on theme anyway. I think that just perfectly encapsulates the whole reason why Pyro was picked for Iceman's Nemesis. And it's because he's fire and the other guy's ice. And that's pretty much it.
A duality as old as time.
Yeah. Actually, Pyro and Iceman in the comics don't cross over all that much. They have, there's one fight soon after Pyro was resurrected because, his whole dying thing and coming back to life. But there was one fight where it was actually Teen Iceman who had traveled through time, right? And regular Iceman, both fighting Pyro. And it was like 2 pages, maybe 4 pages max. And they're just ignoring him the whole time, like fighting him, but they're just chatting with each other about like casual conversation. And that kind of encapsulates the whole thing.
Poor Pyro.
They're head to head. So they must be pulling a lot more from like the Fox movies on these for that. You had a lot more of that tension between the two characters in the movies.
They were like the high school football player against like the high school kid in the choir kind of thing, right? Like
exactly.
It played on that sort of 80s teen trope.
Yeah, exactly. And so you get to see them kind of clash head to head, and it looks great because it's fire and ice and everything. But in the comics, they don't really have a whole lot of background together as enemies. In the modern era, they actually work on the same team, and they're kind of like a borderline buddy cop duo. They call themselves the Two, and so they fight together as friends.
Wait, they're buds?
Yeah, they're buds. No. Pyro gave up the honorable life of crime, and he is on the good guy's side now.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, right. Joined some Marauders at one point. A different Marauder, right, from like the Krakoa era, and he's like writing his novels and things. And
so, is this going to be multiverse nonsense that explains it all?
No, I really think it's got to be fire and ice. We see them in the X-Men movies. Right. I don't know. Yeah. Who would have? Do you have any idea who could have maybe been a more
we've seen this before,
better Nemesis?
Darren. Yeah, we've seen this before, and we've always asked who would have been better. Do you have
any thoughts?
So this is again coming from someone who is relatively new to comics and new to X-Men. Largely, I didn't watch any of like the movies or anything or the animated shows or anything growing up. I still really love the fire and ice thing, so I'm okay with it. Even though it's not really like founded in comics, like the Fox movies were kind of an early introduction to Marvel for me. So I am cool with it.
Okay.
All right.
I guess the two of these guys together could give you some freezer burn.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, and we'll be talking about the cards here in a moment, but to highlight just like how little kind of history they have together, and with like Pyro just not being as present in more modern history, is I believe all of his card art for Pyro stuff is actually commissioned stuff. It's not from the comics.
I think you're right.
That's true.
Yep.
Bruno Frenda has done much of it.
Yeah.
And Ali Presswick, one card.
Interesting.
Yeah. That is what I have for lore. There's not a whole lot to them. But
further proof they're never together in a comic book.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Jeez. I guess if we wanted more lore, Steve, is there somewhere their listeners could go?
I mean, they can go back to those issues I mentioned where we talk about Pyro's history, right? 182 and 202.
Okay.
And always pick up the comics, read some comics.
Because he's kind of an interesting character, right? Maybe not his life with Iceman, but
yeah. Pyro himself is a fairly interesting character, but yeah, I guess I always just assumed that the two of them were kind of rivals. I think the old video game, you could play as Iceman and Pyro as one of the enemies, like the big stand-up 4-player game that you play at the arcade. I don't know if he's in like the old animated series if they do battle at all. But maybe the X-Men movies just kind of ingrained that in my head, the two of them going after each other. So
I think that's the only place I know it.
Yeah.
Huh,
Interesting. Well, we know that Champions is kind of its own Marvel universe, right? 254 or something like that. We pretended it is. The one time we had Tony on and we talked him into it. Totally not official.
He said yes. He said
yes. Official, unofficial. So in Marvel Champions, they are nemesis. So, all right, cool. Shall we look at some cards then?
Yeah, why not?
Do it.
That is definitely our fastest lore segment of all time.
Yeah,
right?
it really is.
It was helpful that you guys spent multiple other issues covering a lot of his lore.
So, we made it easy for you.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can find Pyro in the Iceman pack, which is in the Age of Apocalypse wave. He's got 5 total cards, 4 by title, plus the obligation. So Mike's been long gone, and Daniel, I think the obligations have fallen to you.
Hot-headed, check it and see. Do-do-do-do. What's that song really? That's Foreigner, right?
Hot-blooded?
Blooded? Was it Foreigner? Yeah, right? Anyway, that might be Mike's new parody song. Okay. Hot-headed is Bobby Drake's obligation. Force response. After you attach a frostbite upgrade to an enemy, take a damage. Alter ego response. After you make a basic recovery, discard this card. 2 boost icons. All right. I like it. It joins the realm of those obligations that aren't the standard ones.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the obligations that aren't just the flip and exhaust. Having something that kind of plays off of your gimmick for your deck and requires you actually address it, but gives you a choice of like, how long are you going to put this off? I really like those style of obligations.
100%.
Yeah, and Iceman's whole shtick in the game is attaching these frostbite upgrades to enemies, right? Like, you want to be doing that, so you will be taking damage, if you're playing into that in any way.
Mm-hmm. And he has enough health that the 1 damage doesn't seem like a lot when you first start. Like, it comes out and you're like, I can put out like 3 or 4. I'm good. I don't need to flip down quite yet. And then you find yourself, you're like, okay, I have like 2 HP left. I can't actually do anything unless I flip down.
I've just done a third of the villain's job for him. Yeah.
You'd be like, I'll put up the ice wall and prevent all this damage. And then you're like, this costs too much. So then you never do it. And your health is way lower than you think it's going to be. So
it makes it great. I really like how this interacts with his kit.
Yeah. Now, to clear it, you just need to do a basic recovery. And since you will have suffered damage by doing this, you will be able to. That part's kind of easy. It's not, it's not too bad. You just have to be able to exhaust. And Bobby Drake's a younger, at least during parts of his storyline. So that's where they kind of, maybe it's a little lighter on the how to remove it aspect. They always take it easy on the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a kid.
Yeah. Sometimes there's the older version of himself. So.
But okay.
Okay, cool. Well, let's hear about the man of the hour. Darren, he's all yours.
Okay, we're going to talk about Iceman's Nemesis minion. It's Pyro, if you didn't know. His scheme is 1. His attack is 3, and it deals indirect damage when he attacks. He has 4 health, quick strike, and he is a Brotherhood of Mutants. To complete it, he has 3 boost icons. So he comes in to play pretty quick, starts messing up everyone's plans, and the indirect damage in particular, I think really sells, just flame-throwing fire everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, is this different from any of the other Pyros?
I mean, all of his Pyros effectively do indirect damage.
This, right?
Yeah. That's how they end up capturing it across all of his things, is with the indirect damage.
Okay. Yeah, his Brotherhood version Doesn't even do any normal damage. It's like discard some cards and take indirect damage equal to the resources. His sci-fi version, Pyro 4.0, just as additional indirect damage on top of normal damage.
Right.
His villain version, again, is discarding cards and taking indirect damage equal to the resource icons. So he's burning you and he's burning through your deck and the other versions. So
I can't recall if the others have quick strike, or is this guy alone in that?
just this guy.
All right, good.
Yeah. I like that it's quick strike, so he actually gets to do his thing.
Yep.
Right? Like, yeah. We love quick strike here. So
Big fans.
This is one where we're semi-recent from Con of Heroes. They had the big event where you did Thunderbolts, but your Nemesis minion was Thunderbolts and gained 10 health. And Pyro was particularly annoying, I heard, because when you attack them, they engage you, and when he engages you, his quick strike fires off. So he managed to do a whole lot of damage across that event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good one in Azazel also. So
yes,
who had quick strike. Yeah. Yep.
All
right. Otherwise, he's pretty standard Pyro, I think. So
yeah.
All right. Well, he's got a side scheme, and it is playing with fire. It's 3 threat, just static 3 boost icons, an acceleration icon, and when defeated, the player who defeated the scheme discards the top 3 cards of their deck and takes 1 indirect damage for each resource icon discarded this way.
Oof.
Oh, so very similar to all the other Pyro stuff. Their fire theme is pretty accurate of burning up your stuff, taking indirect damage.
Got it.
So it's what? It's going to be between 3 and 6 damage. I mean, if you happen to discard 3 double resource cards.
Yeah.
If you unluckily discard 3 shawarmas.
Yeah, or Domino's card, or yeah.
Yeah. It's one where the static threat on it actually makes it feel kind of less oppressive than some of the other side schemes. So I like that it can come out. It doesn't feel like too much of a threat, and you can always find someone who has a little extra health to snag it and defeat it, so they get the indirect damage.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's only 3, like especially in a 4-player game, it's incentivizing you to do it, right? Like, it's taunting you. It says 3 threat. Come on, you can clear this and get rid of this, and then take the damage.
But also, the more players in the game, the less impactful kind of the acceleration token is.
Yes, that is true.
Point.
So, like in a 4-player, like, you can kind of leave that out. I just think, this one hurts a solo player so much more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is rough.
Which makes sense in the high school thing. If like your bully finds you in the bathroom, it's just you and them, right?
Right.
It's gonna be devastating. But if you're with your nerd posse or whatever, you got some protection.
Right.
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
You know, the problem now with this is I keep looking at these cards as if the two of them are working together on the same team. I'm thinking, how do we turn Pyro into player cards?
Right?
We're gonna make him an ally somehow.
Yeah, or Iceman into a minion, I guess. That's better. How do we turn Iceman into a villain? So
okay,
and they're on the same team.
But Steve, you got me thinking, like, what a cool addition to this game it would be if there were like sort of sidekick ally sets, like little 5-card sets that you put into your deck rather than just a single ally. Like, what if all these were player cards?
That would be interesting. So you could,
right?
When your ally would attack, you like end up kind of more like a Wiccan style effect where you discard and counter card and deal the boost damage.
Yeah, something, right?
Something like
that.
Yep. You're welcome, Tony Fanchi. You can take that idea of mine. Little ally sets, ally mods, we'll call them.
I'm here for it. I would play with those.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right. Well, Daniel, there's an attachment here.
You're not talking about Pyro's flamethrower, are you?
Of course I am.
Wait a minute. Why does he need a flamethrower? Does he need to sort of snap his fingers? Oh, no. He always needed a source, didn't he? He always had like
he can control the flames. He can't make the flames. Yeah.
That must have always made him feel a little bit insecure.
He is a god among ants. So.
All right, so Pyro's flamethrower attaches to him. Otherwise, it gains surge. So it doesn't go to the villain, only him. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
It is weapon traded. It gives you +0 attack. Well, that's not so good. But that is a little star next to it. Force interrupt. When Pyro attacks you, discard the top card of your deck. Pyro gets +1 attack for this attack for each resource icon on that card. So it's probably a +1 flamethrower with 2 boost icons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weak.
It's maybe the game's lamest bad guy attachment.
Yeah. It only goes on Pyro. Okay. And it has to be Pyro from the Nemesis set, technically. So you can't even put it on like the villain or whatever, I don't believe, because of the way they reference.
Well, couldn't it go on the villain Pyro?
I think some of the rules say, like it's supposed to be referencing a card in its own set kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could put it on the villain. There's no way to remove it if it ends up on the villain.
No, that is funny.
If it ends up on the minion, then you have to defeat the minion, okay,
Sure.
to get rid of it. But like you said, it's basically +1, and you burn a card off your deck.
Yeah. Now, does Iceman have in his kit cards that are multiple resource cards, like Jubilee or something? Or
no, just his. Just if you're including the doubles for him.
Okay, so really, it's another Nemesis that hurts other people worse sometimes. Love it.
Yeah, yep. Bishop would probably hate this.
Jubilee would hate it. Domino, like you said before.
Magneto. Yeah. Oh, and like Hulk has a 3, right?
Yeah.
Domino has a 3. Captain Marvel has a 3.
Yeah, there's a few that would really, really hate to take some hits from that.
And none of them are Iceman. How funny.
Right, but then again, Pyro only has 4 health. So Pyro has to come out. This card has to get shoveled into the deck. Pyro has to still be out there when this card shows up several rounds later. Otherwise, it just surges. I mean, I think majority of the time, this is a surge or 2 boost. Right?
It really is weakest attachment in the game.
I would have loved to see it do something like bring Pyro back out and then like maybe take off the quick strike when it does that or something. But it really feels like it's a non-card in the kit. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen it actually hit.
I don't know how it could. I mean, it's really 2 boost icons and then with the set.
With this, it surges. I would say 99% of the time, it's just going to surge, right?
Yeah.
So,
If Pyro's attack maybe wasn't so threatening, like people would leave him out more to where it could hit.
Oh,
but
maybe.
3 attack with indirect damage is just not something that anyone's really letting sit out for very long.
Right. Yeah, because with the indirect damage, people can't chump block him, right?
Yeah.
So you have to either defend to use your defense stat to drop that indirect damage down, or you have to spread that damage out amongst all your allies, and they have to have the health or tough token on the hero card, something like that. So yeah, he's not long for the game, I don't think.
Nope.
Yeah, and with only 4 health, it's not the hardest thing to remove him.
Yeah, but it does feel kind of like he's the real threat in this Nemesis kit. The side scheme isn't all that threatening. The flamethrower rarely hits, and then he does have one final card, but I'm never really upset if I pull this as my treachery. But the last card in his kit, there's 2 copies of it. It's Burn, and it is a treachery.
Did he say that with enough exclamation point, Daniel?
Yeah. I think so.
You think he did?
You got to make sure it's emphasized.
Do it again.
Burn.
Do it again. Yeah.
So the card is Burn.
There we go. Okay.
You got art of him clearly enjoying his exercise in burning.
Yeah, the art is really good.
I love it. It's great.
Really like this art. Yes.
He has really good teeth.
It's one of the things that comes with controlling fire, apparently. But in this treachery, the when revealed effect on this is discard the top 2 cards of your deck, 3 cards instead if Pyro is in play. Take 1 indirect damage for each resource icon discarded this way. And then it has a boost effect with no boost icons, just the boost effect, that says discard the top card of your deck. this card gains +1 boost icon for each resource icon on that card. So it feeds into the, taking indirect damage and discarding cards from your deck, but more often than not, I'm really okay with this being my treachery of the round.
Because most of the time it's 2 indirect damage, right?
Yep.
You get rid of 2 cards, 2 indirect damage. The boost effect is often just going to be 1 boost icon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, the art is so cool. I just wish it did more. So
same.
Yeah.
The art across, part of the benefit of having this be commissioned art is this is some of my favorite commissioned art in the game. Actually, the burn itself is just such a solid card, and I would love to get like a no border style treatment where it's like the full card art. It's so good.
Yeah. I not to harp on it, but that kicker, if Pyro's in play, that's never gonna go. Same rules of Pyro flamethrower, right? It's like I doubt it. So
yeah, it's like Pyro's not in play.
Yeah. Okay, interesting Nemesis. He's not much of a Nemesis in the lore. I mean, their elements are opposed to one another. Okay, so in general, world view, ice and fire. Okay, none of the cards seem all that punishing, minus Pyro's quick strike. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This one's not going on our most powerful nemesis list.
No, I don't think so.
That list probably has a lot of overlap with best face the past targets.
Yeah, for our point of view, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a great. I mean, this isn't terrible as a player to play face the past if you're set up to deal with the quick strike. Yeah.
Realistically,
because then you're just like, I'll wipe them out.
Yeah. trade 3 damage for 3 cards, and you're off to the races.
All right. Well, what if we had to rate this thing? You're gonna because you have to. Daniel, why don't you rate this for us?
Oh, it's pretty low, Steve. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give this one like a D+.
Whoa. Okay.
I mean, it just doesn't. I don't know. I can't see Iceman all that frightened about seeing his nemesis come out.
Yeah. Obligation's fine. It's good. We like the obligation.
That's
Pyro
good.
himself is good. 3 damage quick strike that you can't just chump block. And then after that, I think we lose the thread, right? The fire's dim. The light goes out.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah. Darren, how about you? You give this a rating?
Yeah. If I had to, on a scale from ice to the fire that consumes the world from Fernax, the Groot Nemesis, who feels like he really captures that burning flame, I think Pyro lands somewhere on like an ember, just like a lightly glowing ember.
Oh,
okay.
There's a sweet sadness to that remark.
There is, right? You could bring it back, right? But no, most of the time it just kind of sits there, glows a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, is there more to say about Iceman's Nemesis? Is there more? I mean, is there more poetry we can read, or
what do we got?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Okay, I'll take that as a no. We don't have much more to say.
Our lore scholar here was silent. There are crickets.
I'm trying
crickets
to
when you asked.
I'm trying to scrape something up, but but no, he is. I mean, I like the minion well enough. I like the dichotomy between the fire and the ice, but I mean, they just really don't engage a whole lot outside those movies, and there's not a whole lot going on with the rest of his Nemesis set, and he definitely feels like a normal mutant going up against Iceman's Omega level mutant.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's not harp on him too bad. So we'll move on. What's next? Oh, we're gonna say goodbye. That's what's next.
Oh, I mean, this guy who wandered into the lair. I mean, is he We should probably show him the exit.
Yeah, first let's say thank you, Astrodar. Thanks for coming on.
You, Thank you.
Thanks for taking on this very difficult Nemesis set. That
I feel like we owe Darren more homework for something down the road.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure that there's something that I missed, and so someone will give me some. One of the listeners.
Well, Scarlet Rhodey will give you a piece of his mind, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But is there someone like down the road, Darren, that if a Nemesis shows up or a villain shows up or something that you're really keen on, you would like to maybe tackle? With no promises, of course, from Steve.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no one is jumping to my mind right now.
Okay.
But I would absolutely come back to discuss some more. I'm trying to remember.
Okay. We'll have you back.
Yeah, have me back. We'll find one that has a very extensive background.
Or one we haven't talked about for 2 other shows. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. How about Yellow Jacket, Steve?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thank you so much, Darren. It was a pleasure having you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for leaving the door unlocked.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that.
We need to. Someone did something.
Yeah, we had so many people in and out of here recently, and yeah. Okay.
We have to change the code.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so folks, go check out the Alter Ego Chronicle. Check out the Discord games that Astrodar is running. If you want to get in a 4-player game, he's probably got some info out there. Just need a webcam and some cards, right?
Yep, just that.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you have some information on why Pyro and Iceman should be Nemesis, or a better Nemesis for Iceman in the lore, you can let us know. You can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, a Big Foam Loaf, and Astrodar. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Pyro, take us out.
You think those ice sculptures can stop me?
Now you know he's Australian, so can you do it in an Australian accent?
I forgot. Yeah. I don't think it's... Let's see if I can... I haven't tried an Australian accent in forever. Now I'm like stalling out.
No pressure.
What did you say? Ice sculptures can stop me. I can only do. Let me try it. Let's see. Shrimp on the Barbie, right?
That's what I was thinking. You have to say that first.
There.
Yeah,
Start there.
Start there. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Yeah.
That's a knife. You think those ice sculptures can stop me?